okay? And I'll go step by step, alright? I call this 5A, later you'll see 5B. We're going to do slot milling. We're going to mill this slot now. And this slot, that's 12 millimeters in width, and it's 15 millimeters from the end over here, okay? So if you, the center of it is actually 15 plus 6 is 21 mm, okay? So we're going to mill a slot, and how we're going to do it is the first thing we need to remove our tool, okay? To remove our tool, we need to switch to low speed, alright? Then put your cutter here. Okay. Now once it's loosened, you hand loosen it, you come to a resistance, a second resistance. Then you hammer again. Right. Now once the second resistance is out, you can pull your tool out. Okay? Then what you do is you keep your 20 millimeter end mill. Alright? And you need to take this out. We need to change it to a 12 millimeter end mill. So would this collet still work? No, because you put it in, you will pop, drop out. Okay, so we need to change it to this collet over here. Alright? Which is the 12 millimeter end mill. And your spring collet, you put it out now. Some of you have problems trying to fiddle with this. What you can do is you can put your hand this way to fully support it, and then you give it a light turn. Okay? And then what happens is, once it's engaged, you don't overly tighten it, because if you do, you can't put your tool in. Okay, so you just half a round or one round is good enough. Your 12 mm tool comes in a smaller box like this. Okay, so the same thing, you take it out. And you want to be sure there is a 12 mm tool. Please do this, just make sure you measure it. Okay, there is 12 millimeters. Then once you measure it, you always check your tool. Never presume that it's 12, because sometimes the project students take the 12 mm tools, then after that they put back the 11 mm tool, and 1 mm is quite hard to tell from your eyes. Okay, so the next thing you do is you put your tool in. Okay, alternatively you can use, not alternatively, you should use a cloth to hold the tool. Then you should push it in, then you tighten it. You hand tighten it first. Alright, hand tighten it. And the same thing, you lock it in. Alright, once it's secure, stand up. You set your speed back. Alright, and you're good for now. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to mount your workpiece. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm going to bring it out so that I'm away from the cutter. Okay, I'm paranoid. I don't want to get cut by the cutter, so I'm moving far and away. And I know that I'm going to use the mallet to hit on my workpiece, so I don't want to hit on all these handles here. Okay, I don't want this to get in the way. Now, this time around we will be using the parallel bars, and you have 3 sets of parallel bars. Okay, you have 3 sets or 3 pairs, total of 6 parallel bars, and we will make use of all 6 of it. Okay, so when you take your parallel bar, make sure they are clean. Take your brush and make sure that it is clean. Okay, then what you do is, the flattest and thinnest parallel bar, you put it lying down flat. Alright, then the next one is the thickest one. The thickest one, you put it lying down flat this way as well. Then you put it stacking up. The smallest one, you put it vertical. Okay, so it's like you are building this kind of shape. Okay, now if you were to put your smaller one at the bottom and the thicker one at the top, you could do that as well, okay? But whatever it is, when you put your workpiece down, it should have sufficient clamping space. You should clamp half the width of your workpiece, okay? Half the width of your workpiece. Now, when you do your setting, make sure that your workpiece protrudes just a little bit, right, from the vise, okay? Then you tighten it, right? You hand tighten it. You hand tighten it. Right, hand tighten it. Then there is a overcome the resistance, right? 1/4 or half. Right, then you take it out. Then what you do is you give a slight tap at the center, right? And then you check to make sure that the top bar doesn't slide. Okay, so this one slides a bit.
Continue handling until the bar stops moving.
Yeah. Alright. Until the bar is firm, then you're good. Now if it's still moving a little bit, okay, then what you do is you need to loosen it again. Hold it down firm and then tighten it. Okay? Then you go 1/4 of a round or half a round. Come out. Then you check. Okay? And then it's firm, right? Once it's more or less firm, okay, because there are so many bars that are stacked, they will be a bit loose. Alright? They will be a bit loose. So you need to hammer them and then make sure they are firm. Okay? They can't pull out. Okay, there's some resistance, that's good enough. Okay? Do this setup, then come back here, then I will explain how to set the machine to the 0. We are dealing with the x-axis for now, not dealing with the y-axis. We're dealing with the x-axis and then the z-axis. Okay? Come, let's go.